top stories today. Thousands of protesters have shut down streets across Melbourne as 4 separate protests are held across the city. Georgie Dickerson is there for us on the scene. Georgie, police were concerned about violent clashes following those protests we saw just a fortnight ago. How's it going on the ground there?
Good afternoon to you, Trudy. We have a few moments ago seen some small clashes with a few of the protesters, but for the most part, nothing like those scenes that we saw a fortnight ago. We did around 30 to 40 minutes ago have this extremely tense standoff outside Parliament House on Spring Street. The left and the right, the 2 separate opposing protest groups came head to head. They were blocked by a huge barrier of police, the mounted horse branch, as well as the public order response unit that was also there to block each group from coming near each other. There was a police officer there telling everyone to move on after they had been there for some time, and now this is where we are at the moment. I'll give you a look down here. To my right, you can see a huge group of the anti-Rally Against Racism group walking down this way. There's a lot of police that have gathered down here. We are on Swanston Street, on the corner of Swanston and Burke Street at the moment. We thought things had dispersed for the most part, but there is still a smaller group that is continuing to protest. We saw around 3,000 to 4,000 protesters from the Rally Against Racism. Now this has dwindled down to this main group here. We saw before a bit of a clash between some of the people waving Australian flags and some of the people here. So they're now all making their way down here. So it hasn't really turned violent for the most part, just extremely loud, as you're probably struggling to hear me now, Trudy. But here's a bit of a grab on some of the protesters and why they're out here today.
To support my daughter and myself and our rights as Aboriginal Australians, and just here for everyone and for all humans, and just so we can all be together and protest our rights and our voices.
I just really want to counter the message of hate that's been around in the community lately, particularly with the neo-Nazi anti-immigration march a couple of weeks ago.
We need to stop immigration now until every Australian has a home.
And now the farmers are struggling. The government is not with the farmers at all. They are destroying them.
Georgie, we can see things getting a little bit heated there as these 2 separate groups coincide where you are on the streets of Melbourne. Give us a sense, how much disruption has there been there today in the CBD?
It's been huge, Trudy. Where we are this is a busy shopping street. This is Burke Street where we're standing, and at the moment there's really no shoppers here. If they are shoppers, they've probably gone inside to David Jones, Windsor Smith around me, all the different shops around me. So it's very chaotic when people are trying to come into the city. We were outside Parliament earlier. The musical Annie is on, and people were having to be ushered around the inside of where the police were standing just so they could actually get inside with their kids to watch the musical Annie. So this is happening time and time again on the streets of Melbourne. Tomorrow is the 100th pro-Palestine protest. They happen every single Sunday here on the streets of Melbourne. They're going to start around midday tomorrow, and so that's going to be another day of shutdowns around our streets. We heard this week the Lord Mayor Nick Rees saying that businesses are struggling because of these people are being deterred from coming into the city when they can't even get into the city through the normal routes of trams, buses or Ubers or taxis, or even on foot. It's a bit difficult to make its way inside. So we will give you a bit of a look down here at the moment. We can see a lot of police starting to make their way. We'll go for a little bit of a walk with where authorities are going at the moment. This is further down towards Swanston Street, so this is where we did begin this morning, right down the end of Swanston Street on the corner of Swanston and Flinders Street at Flinders Street Station. I think actually we've just got a bit of something happening just over here. There, all the police running there. So we'll just stay on this for just a moment more, Trudy. We have seen these little breakout groups are the ones sometimes that have been causing the issues. For the most part, people have remained peaceful. They've remained respectful of each other. But then you get these small breakout groups that are the ones that unfortunately cause the chaos and cause the carnage within the city. So at the moment this just looks like the 2 opposing groups fighting with each other, and this is what we have seen happen time and time again, Trudy, here on the streets, and this is why police were so concerned about these protests today. There was 4 separate protest groups making their way into the city with a plan to come together and a plan to clash with each other. Police knew that it would be violent. It hasn't been, I would say, as violent as we were probably expecting, but this is the type of behaviour when 2 different groups come to each other and start yelling, and the police have to very quickly get involved, Trudy.
Which part of the stooge media
I was
is
going to
this?
say that, Georgie. Police are very quick to try and nip these sort of incidents in the bud to prevent any sort of further tensions erupting on the streets there of Melbourne. Great coverage today, Georgie. We'll keep an eye on that. Keep us updated as to how things are going in Melbourne.